Entertainment. Enterprise, your advantage. Now, are you tired of using a hose or bucket to water your lawn every time? Are you tired of your brown lawn? Stay green with InGreen. Enjoy a 25% discount on all automatic lawn irrigation materials from April to June 2019. Call us now on 0302 819 000. InGreen is another quality solution from Interplast, and with Interplast, wherever you are, we make sure water reaches you, even in space. Now, there are gifts for you at First Atlantic Bank. Receive your remittances today till April 27, 2019 from Western Union, MoneyGram, Ria, Unity Link, Transfast Money Exchange, or at any FAB branch in Accra, Tema, Takrade, Tamale, Tichim, and Kumasi, and win instant gifts and appliances like freezers, LED TVs, fridges, home theaters, and many others. Terms and conditions apply. Remember, at First Atlantic Bank, we are stronger together. First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different. Good morning, Raymond. Good morning, Malik.
Good morning.
How are we doing this morning?
Yeah, fantastic.
Yes,
Yourself?
fantastic like Langabell, aren't you?
Yeah, fantastic.
I'm doing well myself. Thank you very much for asking, Malik. And let's start with the Daily Heritage.
Let's start with the Daily Heritage, front page of the Daily Heritage newspaper. Forget government jobs. Be innovative and creative and create your own job. That's real estate developer rallying unemployed graduates. Government slow in tackling corruption-related cases. CMB traders call for railway police commander's head. Accuse him of constant harassment.
Now, Chief wants President to kick out DCE. NPP inaugurates 11 committees, and also VIP launches medical drone delivery service together with Mahama's $200 million housing deals thinking. And there's one also about confusion over missing Takoradi girls. The stories on the front page of the Daily Guide this morning.
That's Mahama housing deal is also on the front page of the Daily Statesman newspaper. Sagalemi housing was a rip-off, dubious $200 million NDC deal to be probed by Yoko. That's the story as headlined by the Daily Statesman newspaper. Also on the front page of the paper, MPP inaugurates National Council committees, medical drone service takes off. Bawumia says no health investment, no development.
Now, the Business Finder is reporting this morning $129 million misappropriated. That's what's being reported by the Business Finder. This is according to the minister in charge of that particular sector, your very good friend, Samuel Echi Atachia. And that's on the front page of the paper with 25% of SNIT contributors in less than 400 cedi a month. 25%, 1/4 of all SNIT contributors in this republic, they earn less than 400.
The details of those statistics will shock you. Malik, let's go ahead.
Let's do the New Crusading Guide newspaper. It's drones everywhere.
I don't see a drone in the studio
as well. I'm talking from.
I guess you go ahead.
First drone takes off is also here.
Yeah.
Occupied Ghana is it flares or fleas? Osafo Mafu.
I think it's fleas.
Yes.
You flare at and you flay.
Yeah. Well, the
Brofo people, you know what I'm saying?
I beg.
They are demanding. They say Occupy Ghana is demanding an apology over Aisha Huang's statement. Tension in Aikai W over attempts to install new chief. Those are the stories in the New Crusading Guide newspaper.
Now, the Chronicle is reporting this morning KMA's revenue dwindles on the front page of the paper. Another one, there's an expose, big time. Now, the fire tender that may be driving by you this morning, the driver in there might not have a driver's license. That's an expose in the Chronicle. I'll be giving you details.
For a fire tender?
Yeah.
You bring us details, right?
Yes, details of that later on. But, you know, the drone system, the health minister is saying, call me the drone minister.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so remove health, make it drone. Call me the drone minister.
We want him to be health minister. He should succeed in that one.
Okay.
The Ghanaian Times newspaper has the same drone story here, but one other story is Ghana marking World Malaria Day. How can I forget the back page of the Ghanaian Times newspaper, especially when there's a headline like this: Kotoko, humble Brekum Chelsea.
Yeah.
The other story is hearts cut into allies to size and 5 dropped from Black Queen's squad.
The second one is not really a big story, but it's fine.
you. Raymond, go ahead.
Now, the Daily Graphic is reporting this morning, state pension better than private investment. There's one about police denying Takoradi girls have been found, and Apostolic Church Ghana members discontinue case. Now, the drone story is also big, but the minister has been reassigning the manager for the Ghana Rose Toll department. So that's also on the front page of the Daily Graphic too.
So Raymond, after all the gusto we spoke with yesterday, the Takoradi girls have not been found?
Not been found. I mean, I couldn't say
yesterday was study girls rescued.
But
no, this one we can't say it with
we can't say it with any vim at all. Okay, now let me bring it from the people that brought the story. Now, the Daily Guide is reporting this morning that there's confusion over the missing Takoradi girls. The confusion is because they believe that the people were not asked to comment on the matter. That's the CID and the police, because you're not the source of the story, and that the CID and the police were coming to them, the Daily Guide, for information to actually follow up. So how can you come and tell us that the girls have not been found when we are not saying you found them?
So who has the girls?
No, take your time.
No, but it's a legitimate question.
Yes, I agree. But they are reacting first and foremost to the statement from the police. No, the police issued a statement on its website, and the Daily Guide describes as the unsigned social media statement from the police. We know that Sla Bachman actually spoke to it here on this network. The police stated categorically that we should disregard as false, or if you like, stroke fake news, the claim that the girls have been rescued. This is because, according to the police, they've not found the girls. Now, we know that April 2, 2019, this year, the CID boss in the press conference said, we have located the girls. We know where they are. And we are working with other institutions to be able to bring them home. The family then followed up with a complaint. Then the family said, we've not heard anything from you. So it's surprising that you are speaking to people out there about this incident. 2 weeks later, the family came back to say that, please, you promised us that you bring the girls home. We are still here. The girls are not home. Now, the Daily Guide did a story yesterday that suggested that the poor have been rescued. It did. It gave details. Said they were rescued in Takoradi, brought to Accra, to 37, receiving some. They say there's a BNI facility, health facility at 37. That's where they were receiving the medical care and were being reviewed at that place. But the family says they've not heard anything about this incident. And they're even more worried that there are conflicting reports on this particular matter. Indeed, the Daily Guide is saying that its unimpeachable sources suggested that the girls had actually been located, they had been rescued, and they will soon be reunited with the families in this case. Now, the Daily Guide is worried about why the different security institutions, the one from their source they don't name, but the source of their own they don't name, but they say they are worried about how different institutions are given different information on the way forward on this particular matter.
It's only fair to note, Raymond, that we have also checked with our sources at the BNI. They are unable to confirm whether or not these girls have been rescued by the BNI. They are unable to confirm. They did not confirm or deny that. But really, this is terrible for the family. I was listening to the spokesperson on Newsnight yesterday, and I was just wondering what sort of emotional roller coaster they may be going through now. And I think that now it will be fair for us to keep the countdown ongoing. Yeah. And at least, look, the police, for coming out to say that they should disregard those reports, are being fair. They are telling the family that we have not found them yet because the hunt is still ongoing.
Yeah, because, but it doesn't make sense to me when the CID boss, head of investigations, actually comes out to tell you that we know where they are. We will soon reunite them with the family. Then the police is telling us that we have not found them yet. So is it that they don't know where they are, or they have not rescued them yet?
So that has not been said, that they don't know where they are. What we know from the official police confirmation is that this Daily Guide story is not true, but as in they have not received any hint that the Takoradi girls have been found themselves, i.e. the CID. Again,
that's the confusion in this. The substantive matter is not even about the Daily Guide story. The substantive matter is that we're told they have been found. So all that is required is reuniting them with the family. And it's more than 2 weeks. That is what we want to know from the CID boss and the people involved in this. So the police should re-engineer and reconcentrate this energy on reuniting the girls with the family, since you are still operating on the principle that they are free found.
But let us not assume that the police have shifted their focus from finding the girls. When we say that they should re-engineer,
finding is not even a matter of consideration. This is the CID boss says we know where they are.
We know where they are. So
yes,
they should
so that means they'll be found somewhere.
Fair. Those are valid questions that the CID boss needs to answer. But Samuel Atacha also has some questions for Collins Dauda, Malik.
Yes, and his contention is that the $200 million housing project, which was approved by Parliament in 2012, and which houses were to be constructed at Saglemi in the Greater Accra region, that he believes that the government at the time, led by the minister of his ministry at the time, I'm talking Collins Dauda, who was Minister for Works and Housing, that the government illegally reviewed this contract without informing Parliament the basis for the review. Now, he said that under the original contract, the contractor was supposed to construct 5,000 housing units. He said subsequent to Parliament approving this $200 million loan, the contractor and the housing ministry decided to review the scope of the project to 1,502. And subsequently, they further reviewed it to 1,024. He said that having been the case, the total amount of disbursement from the fund, from the 200 million, was 99.39%. That's 179 million of the 200 million had been disbursed. And yet the housing unit had been cut down from 5,000 to 1,502, further down to 1,024. Now, so he says that as of now, only 636 units of the houses, representing 12.7%, have been completed. 129 million of the total sum had been misappropriated. And so a report has been made to the Attorney General, who will give his advice. But last year, a deputy minister at the Housing Ministry, Samson Ahi, told us here on Joy News, our colleague Emefa Apao, that as at the time that the previous government left office in January 2017, 1,400 units of the 5,000 had been completed, and that the rest were at various stages of completion. Now, Atachia is saying only 1,024 are being built. Something, and he says by 2016, 1,400 had been completed. Who do you believe?
In the first place, if we are saying that they have been completed, what exactly does he mean? Does he mean that the people submitted their IPC in a road contract? It will be an insurance payment certificate to show that I have done this work. That payment certificate would have pictures. It would have proof. It means that a consultant has gone to check to make sure that the work has been done as per the standards. So can he point us to the specific reports that he saw? Can he tell us that he put that in the handing over notes?
Let me tell you,
I think those are questions that
said. He said, as at the time we left office, about 1,400 units had been completed, with others at various stages of completion. Some were at the footing, lintel, window levels, while others were at the roofing level. This is what Samson Ahi said.
Let's be fair to Mr. Nhi that he's not in power now. He wasn't in power as of 2018, so he may not have had the documents before him. But we would appreciate if he would be able to tell us in clarity what he meant by about 1,400 and what he meant by they had been completed.
The difficulty is in the difference in the numbers. If he says that as of December 2016, 1,400 had been completed, the current minister is telling us that as of 2019, the total number of houses that were being built is 1,024. There's a wide gap here. In fact, the current minister says only 636 of the houses have been completed. Something, and he says as of December 2016, 1,400 had been completed.
But we also need to ask Mr. Atacha to back the statement he has made with the requisite facts so that we can compare, because it's being clearly disputed. Malik, I don't think this is a he said matter. I don't think this is something we can resolve now. But we acknowledge the disparity and we ask that we would get the clear
One other
figures.
small point just to make is that all of these projects, you always have these kinds of controversy. I remember the Kufuor affordable housing. There was a similar allegations about the houses hadn't been allocated already when they were not completed. And I remember, what's his name, the minister at the time who became communications director for the MPP, Nana Komia, saying only 200 of the houses had been allocated to police officers, and that there were more than 1,000 others which had not been allocated.
My challenge,
and
Malik, is that at every stage, my challenge,
them.
Malik, is that at every stage, there is documentation that should back every claim that we make. Absolutely. If you make a claim, come and show us the documentation. This is why we need the Right to Information Bill to be in effect now, so that we can simply go and request this information and we'll clear this, because we can't be. It's like arguing who made the mobile phone. It's something that facts can say.
My challenge is that we are dealing with the minors. We need 100,000 units. So this 100,000
units every year, because the housing deficit is 2 million. Anyway, so Raymond, you make a very good point. My challenge is that the Yoko investigation reminds me of other Yoko investigations that we understand have been finished. For instance, the investigations into the banking saga.
Yes.
And what has become of those investigations?
That's true.
And when is the Attorney General taking action on them? However, Raymond, that story you said you bring details of the fire tender drivers.
Yes, that particular incident. Okay, so the Chronicle did some investigation. What the Chronicle realized was that most of the tenders on the streets, the ones that when you're in distress and you have a fire incident anywhere in the world, Dr. Ismail Norman did some report that said that fire incidents happen virtually every 2 hours in this country. So the tenders that will come to your rescue immediately, the most coordinated approach, the person who might be driving that particular tender may not have a driving license. Now, this is because most of the people who were put in there were not drivers in the first place. They were recruited as usual firemen, firefighters, and then later on asked to do other responsibilities. Their difficulty is that all the complaints they made to their leadership for them to get them the requisite license, or their attempt to get the license on their own, has not been fruitful. This is because Goro boys are demanding huge amounts from these drivers, firefighters turned drivers, which is becoming problematic for them. Now, if you relate this to the fact that there's been complaints about their availability and the fact that some of the people don't arrive on time and that sometimes they can't respond to the fire incidents the way they ought to respond to them, their major complaint is that they want to abandon that work, but they don't know what's happening. When they try with a sit down, the people suspended their salaries.
Okay.
The leadership, however, the leadership of the National Fire Service have been saying that all the allegations are not true. They believe that they've recruited the right people, and mostly you have to show evidence of your ability to drive, and you'll be retrained to even proceed with that particular craft in the first place. The Chronicles have a promising detailed information of the drivers and where they've been, how many of them are in the current system, but insisting that if we don't intervene now, we may have a lot of problems on our hands.
We wait with bated breath. Malik, Mr. Osafo-Maafo.
Yes, Mr. Osafo-Maafo is hot. That's according to the Daily Heritage newspaper. And the story is anchored on the statement issued by Occupied Ghana expressing disappointment in the comments made by Mr. Yaw Osafo-Maafo to the effect that Aisha Huang, the so-called Chinese Galamsey queen, was allowed to leave the country, was deported, and the prosecution truncated because the government did not believe that prosecuting and jailing her would solve Ghana's economic problems. Occupy Ghana expresses disappointment in the comments and says that the comments are distasteful and disrespectful. Of course, Occupy Ghana is not the only institution commenting on this. We know that Dr. Lloyd Amwa, whom you spoke to yesterday, expressed disappointment in the statement that was issued by the senior minister's ministry backing his comments. We know that Abdul Malik Kwekubaku also said that he has to apologize for the gaffe, that it was unacceptable and there was no basis for it. We know that the minority is also saying that if the president does not sack him, it will initiate processes in parliament that will lead to his removal from the ministry.
But you know, this statement by Mr. Osafo-Maafo has really blown the bigger Galamsey issue wide open. So how many Chinese have been arrested over the years and repatriated for the involvement in Galamsey?
More
Did
than 5,000.
blackmail play a role in the release of Aisha Wang? Do we know that? What is the extent of involvement of politicians and chiefs in Galamsey? And what are the security agencies? Is the work of the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining being undermined by well-placed people in government? We need to try and answer some of these questions. concerns, and we'll go into them on the show today as we delve deeper into the Galamsey issue. But Raymond, bring us this issue about the first drone center opening.
Yes, the world's largest medical drone delivery service took off in Ghana. This is according to the Telegraph in the UK. That's how they headline that. And to be clear, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, actually launched this particular feat. We understand, and we've been talking about this, and this happened at Omenako. The Omenako station is going to fly. Even before that, the test drive saved the life of a 44-year-old man who needed an emergency medical delivery to where he was in the New Tafo Hospital. I'm sure you have heard. Now, contrary to what the health minister told us some time ago, I spoke to the gentleman in charge of the project here in Ghana, Daniel Mafo, and he said there's no unit cost arrangement involved in this. So it's basically $176 for unlimited delivery for a month. So it has nothing to do with the unit cost. So when
no matter how many flights go.
Yes. So that is what he's basically saying. And saying that when you compare that to what would have been the transportation to the place is way cheaper. That's how they are considering it. There's been complaints about why, as we look at the situation now, whether or not the money is supposed to be in dollars or in cedis, in tandem with our foreign exchange rules in this country and the laws bordering that. There's also some complaints about whether or not we are having the best of the deals currently on our hands. The main thrust of that is, if you look at what we have been given compared to what could have been done by other institutions, indeed, if you see the report from the Public Procurement Authority, they say the drones delivery service Zipline justified and insisted on charging this amount. And that questions whether or not single sourcing would have been the perfect option under these conditions that we need to have it be. So the debate's still ongoing, but the service has taken off. There are 3 more centers they are supposed to build. We understand by end of this year, they'll clear all of these other 3 centers. Then we have it in full operation.
Specifically in 9 months is what the CEO of Zipline told us yesterday. Well, announced yesterday. And Malik, finally, take us to court.
Yes, so this is a case. There was a case which was brought by Francis Kwarteng Arthur, arguing that the National Identification Authority's requirement that persons should produce their digital address codes in order to be issued with the Ghana card is unconstitutional, illegal, and unreasonable. So he went to court asking that the court should not allow the NIA to do this. But the court, presided over by Gifty J. Adu, this is the Human Rights Division of the High Court, said that the reliefs that he was seeking were themselves not legal. They had no legal or factual basis. And so the case was struck out. The case was dismissed. And then 3,000 Ghana cedis was awarded. A cost was awarded against him in respect of this. So NHIA has the right to initiate whatever rules and whatever requirements that people must provide in order to get the Ghana card.
Right. Thank you very much, Malik and Raymond. It's time for the online news review, and it's brought to you by Zenith Bank in your best interest and Goil Good Energy. Now, make your day productive by relying on quality fuel from Goil, your 3-time CIMG Petroleum Company of the Year. Goil Super XP and Diesel XP are additivated to enhance strong engine performance and prolong the lifespan of your vehicle. Above all, you are guaranteed extra quality with our fuel analyzer from our mobile laboratory van. Get your money's worth every day by buying fuel and lubricants from any of Goil's over 360 service stations nationwide and experience good energy. Buy Goil, grow Ghana. Goil, good energy. Goil, Yenara Yedia. Now go light with Zenith Bank. Be that person who banks light anytime, anywhere, because you need because you use the Zenith mobile app to pay bills, top up airtime, effect instant transfers, top up investments, and so much more. Avoid delays and keep afloat. Simply sign up for Zenith Bank's mobile banking and mobile banking solutions today. Go light with Zenith Bank. It's faster and smarter. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. Now, myjoyonline.com is where we begin. World Malaria Day. Ghana targets 100% malaria testing by 2020. Dare to be job creators. Bawumia challenges university students, and teachers need retraining to promote quality education. This is according to the senior housemaster of the Akuse Senior High Technical School, AMEST, Mr. Stephen Selom Jofenu. Adumonline.com says Ochehini lauds government for embracing drone medical delivery service, and he had some very strong words there, as you may have heard on Newsnight yesterday. What did you say?
For the riches.
Said if you don't support development, you are an otherworldly figure. BBC.com says Sri Lanka attacks. Government admits major intelligence lapse. Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un pledge stronger ties in Vladivostok. And James Bond. What to expect from Bond 25 announcements. Interesting news there coming in from the BBC. You're still live on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. So much more coming up. Stay with us.